Greetings! This is Robin's Book Club, episode number 32, and this week it's Deja Vu, Martin Parr and the Anonymous Project. I probably don't need to tell you who Martin Parr is, but it is worth noting that in the introduction it explains he has an archive of over 50,000 photos. But what I hear you say is the Anonymous Project. Well, the Anonymous Project was founded by Shulman, and it was an idea to conserve and gather colour slides from the late 30s to the mid-1980s, taken by amateur photographers around the world. Okay, so this is not professional photographers' work, but specifically he wanted to bring together a massive archive which would have a new meaning in the context of that archive. And to date, the archive has over 800,000 slides. Okay, so this is an amazing idea. Lee explains in an interview that he does with Martin Parr at the start of the book that he was very strongly inspired by Martin and his work The Last Resort, so I make no apologies for featuring a few of those photos specifically at the end. But it really is an amazing book. As I say, the project is called Deja Vu. The point is, you've seen this before. So we have a pair of images, one from Martin Parr's archive and one from the Anonymous Project archive. It works so well, and I definitely want you to think about, the themes of humour, themes of placement in a book, so book design. How have these images been paired physically on the pages? And then I want you to think about similarity of subjects and perhaps how you could work with your own archive. The book was only published at the end of October 2021. You can pick it up for about £17 new online at the moment. If you can get it in time for Christmas for the photographer in your life, if it's not you, if you have other photographers in your life, I think it's a fantastic book. And we'll look at some of my favourite images from it towards the end. So I hope you agree this is a remarkable book, Deja Vu, Martin Parr and the Anonymous Project. As I mentioned, we'd look at some of my favourite spreads at the end. And as I mentioned, I make no apologies for focusing not exclusively, but by and large on work from the last resort, which I do think actually we need to cover in the book club, don't we? The image on the left here of Martin's, I think, is one of the most tender and beautiful photographs I've ever seen. People have sometimes objections to his work, and they talk about the fact that they think that it's not particularly kind to its subjects, but there's so much tenderness and beauty in that photo. I hold that up as a shining example of what his work can and is about, as is this. I just think, but look how good the pairings are. Oh my goodness, there is just so much to love about this book. Published in this country by Hoxton Mini Press. You can get it online in the UK anyway, from them or from Amazon or from whoever it is that you want to do. I just found these pairings, you almost at times are looking through, I mean, not to give the game away now, but you know, Martin's images are always on the left and the Anonymous Project's images are always on the right. But to a point, it takes you a while, it took me a while, of flicking through this book to settle into that rhythm, because at times you can't quite tell the difference. And I suppose if you're talking about vernacular photography, if you're talking about amateur photography, you know, maybe that's the point. Can you tell which of those images has more quote-unquote quality, is more professional than the other? You might think that Parr's image with the person cropped out on the right hand edge is less professional than the image on the right. It's just something to consider. And I chose this image because although they're probably years and years apart, perhaps even decades apart, they do represent, particularly the image from the Anonymous Project on the right, they represent all of our grandmas, don't they? Just, you know, growing up as a kid in the 80s, you know, my grandmas looked like these ladies here on the right, and I suppose more modern grandmas, not all that more modern, but slightly more modern grandmas look a bit more like the grandmas on the left, but they do seem, I love how you've got the coats on the left mixing with the coats on the right, and I really like the modern poster behind the grannies on the left. I think that just makes that one so much. But as I say, thoroughly recommend the work of Martin Parr and the Anonymous Project in this wonderful book, Deja Vu.